stunning headline in the 6 o'clock hour that came out. Michael Irvin has dropped the lawsuit he filed last month against the Marriott. Why would he drop the lawsuit? So I immediately started texting our good buddy Mike Florio, the attorney from ProFootballTalk.com, and he agreed to pop on with the legal explanation. Good morning, Mike. Why is this happening?
Well, there were a bunch of different theories that I had kicked around in an item we posted earlier today at PFT, and one of them focused on the motion to dismiss that Marriott filed in the case that is now dismissed, arguing that Marriott doesn't own the hotel, that it licenses its brand to whoever owns and operates the Renaissance Hotel in Phoenix where all of this happened. And that seems to be what has gone on because, as you guys have surely seen by now, the case, I'm told, has already been refiled in Arizona. So they know who to sue now. And it'll be whatever the name of the company is that runs that hotel, that pays Marriott to license the brand. And I wouldn't be surprised if Marriott is a party under an argument that they negligently supervised the licensee, et cetera, or there's some Marriott policy that caused or contributed to this. Individual employees of the hotel probably also will be defendants. And this one, unless there's a question of federal law that's raised in Irvin's complaint, this is one that'll stay in Arizona State Court, and they'll battle it out there and see what transpires. But the key is they're going to have a press conference in a couple of hours, and they are going to play that surveillance video that Irvin and his lawyer were able to pry away from Marriott during the existence of the case in Texas.
Does this mean that the sum that they're going after may change because it may not be under Marriott, which would theoretically be a bigger company?
Well, the sum that is put in a complaint is meaningless, frankly. Okay. You don't go to court and say, I want $100 million, and the jury decides yes or no, you get $100 million. There's an unlimited number that the jury can ultimately provide, and it's whatever the jury wants to give you, because a lot of the damages in a case like this aren't based on any mathematical calculation. It's your reputational damage, pain and suffering, mental anguish, all the different terms that lawyers will throw into a complaint. And basically you just hope a jury gets sufficiently pissed off at the defendant that they run away with a giant number. The $100 million is for the benefit of the media to create greater attention. The number doesn't change. And really, in most jurisdictions, all that you have to do is say that you're seeking enough money in order to satisfy whatever the minimum is to get you into that court in the first place.
All right, so to simplify, this is not case drop, settlement reach, everything over. We're just moving this officially to Arizona with the video being shown in 2 hours today.
Exactly. I mean, my first thought when I saw it was dismissed was, well, they settled it because that's what you would do if you settle it. But then when the press conference notice went out, it's like, well, this isn't over yet unless one of the terms of settlement is we're going to play this video anyway. And Michael Gelkin of the Morning News told me that the dismissal was without prejudice, which is key. If it's settled, it's with prejudice, it's over, it's done. If it's without prejudice, that means you can refile it, which they've already done. And now they focus on and this is a smart way to go. You focus on the company that runs the hotel. And the reason they have to go to Arizona, my guess is this is a company that only operates in Arizona. It doesn't have ties to Texas. So you can sue Marriott in pretty much any state in the country because Marriott is present in every state in the country. This company that owns and operates the Phoenix Renaissance, my guess would be, has no ties of any kind to Texas, preventing Irvin from suing them there. He has to go to them in Arizona.
Mike, does this still feel to you that Michael Irvin is in the driver's seat with this case?
Well, to the extent that we were led to believe that there was something on this video that was a smoking gun and it would tell the whole story, and Marriott dug in their heels and refused to give it up and then ultimately pissed off the judge by defying his order as to the terms of disclosing the video. I mean, anytime someone acts like they have something to hide, it makes me think they have something to hide and they're concerned about what's on there. The story that was told in the filing from last Friday about the interaction between Irvin and the accuser, okay, we have something tangible now that Marriott put on the table, They've disclosed some of their cards. It just raises more questions. How many different times was this version told? How many different versions were told? What was told to the NFL? And I perked up, and I think, Sean, I texted you about this when I saw that Marriott claimed the NFL actually got involved and interviewed the employee directly and saw the video before making the decision to remove Michael Irvin from the airwaves. So there's a hell of a story here to be told, and there's a lot that needs to be tested by cross-examination and scrutiny. So we know what Marriott claims, but just the fact that they were so resistant and reluctant to put any cards on the table makes me wonder how strong of a story it's going to be. And I also wonder how far up the ladder this goes within the NFL and whether at some point the NFL is going to be in a jackpot over all of this.
Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com. Also, the new novel out April 25th. You can pre-order it now, Father of Mine. It is a mob book for only $4.99. Florio here on the Diamond Factory Hotline. So do you think Mike has grounds to go after NFL Network, ESPN, if they kept him off TV for this?
Well, yes, because it adds to the perception that he did something bad.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever he supposedly did, if you remove the guy from the airwaves, you're telling the world that this guy did something bad. And it's dangerous ground for Michael Irvin because he's working for NFL Network. I mean, you create at a minimum an awkward work experience for yourself if you sue your employer. And, you know, we've seen that come up in the context of folks like Colin Kaepernick. You become persona non grata and people don't want to deal with you, even though Michael Irvin would be fully within his rights, just like a Brian Flores. He's gainfully employed by the Vikings right now, and he has a viable lawsuit against the NFL and multiple teams. If that's something Irvin would want to do, I think a lot of it depends upon what they learn. And I think they're still just early on finding out how deep this rabbit hole goes. And it's got to make the NFL nervous that they're already being kind of pulled into this and their process is being exposed. And they're going to have executives who get asked tough questions by Irvin's lawyers or Marriott's lawyers as they try to piece this thing together. And the separate question, you mentioned ESPN. Somebody said something to ESPN to get Michael Irvin removed from First Take that week, which just adds to the perception he must have done something really bad. So, yeah, just a lot of questions to answer. This is one that, you know, I don't miss practicing law because it's a grind and it's difficult and you're fighting all the time. And a lot of times, you know, you're dodging every possible attack and every angle and everything they can throw at you. This one would be fun from the standpoint of figuring out who said what to whom and when and how many different stories are out there and who made the big decision.